Hello students, in this lecture we will discuss the solution of numerical problems pertaining to the steady state, steady flow processes and uniform state, uniform flow processes. An air compressor is designed to compress atmospheric air, which is assumed to be at 100 kilopascal, 293 Kelvin, to a pressure of 1 megapascal. The heat losses to the environment are anticipated to be equal to 10% of the power input to the compressor. The air enters at 50 meter per second where the inlet area is 90 centimeter square and leaves at 120 meter per second through an area of 5 centimeter square. Determine the following: exit air temperature and power input to compressor. Now, at inlet, the pressure is 100 kilopascal, temperature is 293 Kelvin, and velocity is 50 meter per second. And cross-sectional area is 90 centimeter square, which is expressed as 90 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. Because if we are using a continuity equation, then we should ensure that velocities should be in meter per second, area should be in meter square, and specific volume in meter cube per kg, so that mass flow rate will be in kg per second. Now at exit, the pressure is 1000 kilopascal, velocity at exit is 120 meter per second, and area at exit is 5 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. Now, as given in the question, heat transfer is equal to 10% of work, so we have written W upon 10. Minus sign we have put because it is the heat rejected, as written in the question, heat losses to the environment. So negative. Now state equation for PI is equal to PI, where PI is the specific volume. Putting Pascal the value of R for air, because for air I have told the value of R has to be assumed to be 0.287 until and unless given in the question. Temperature Ti is 293 Kelvin, so the value of Vi comes out to be 0.8409 meter cube per kg. Now mass flow rate will be AICI upon Vi, and that comes out to be 0.5351. Now this mass flow rate is also equal to AECE upon V, and this gives me the value of V is equal to 0.1121 meter cube per kg. Now by the state equation at exit, we write PEVE is equal to RTE, and the value of TE comes out to be 390.66 Kelvin. Now this is the steady flow energy equation written on the slide. Now every term here is in kilojoule per kg. Now enthalpies are normally written in kilojoule per kg in steam tables or gas tables or air tables wherever available, or they are given in kilojoule per kg by the examiner in the question paper. Similar is case for the heat transfer and work transfer, that is Q and W. They are either given in kilojoule per kg in the question, or they are given in kilojoule per second, so that we can convert them in kilojoule per kg with the help of mass flow rate. Now the kinetic energy per unit mass term and the potential energy per unit mass term, they are basically having the unit of joule per kg. C square by 2 is the kinetic energy per unit mass. Now if velocity is given in meter per second, then it will give me the kinetic energy in the unit of joule per kg. Similarly for the Gz, it will give me the value in joule per kg if G is having the value of meter per second square and Z is having the unit of meter. So ultimately both the terms, kinetic energy per unit mass and potential energy per unit mass terms in this equation, they are yielding the value of joule per kg. So in order to get them converted into kilojoule per kg, we have divided both the terms by 1000. I think this is clear. Now the change in enthalpy can be written as CPDT as the substance given is an ideal gas, because for the ideal gas we are going to prove in the chapter dealing with the property relations that for an ideal gas change in enthalpy is always equal to CPDT. Now we have obtained the entire equation in the term of W. The entire steady flow energy equation has been obtained in the terms of W. One W was standing for work transfer and the other, which was for heat transfer, has been substituted by minus W upon 10 as per the question. So ultimately we are having 11W upon 10, which is equal to minus 104.09. Now the value of W is minus 94.63 kilojoule per kg. Now we want to obtain the value of power transfer to the system for this question. So that can be obtained by multiplying the value of work input to the compressor with mass flow rate. So multiplying it with mass flow rate, we get the value minus 50.64 kilojoule per second. You can note that value of W or W dot is negative, which indicates that basically it is the work input or power input, or you can say work done on the system or power done on the system. In a steady flow apparatus, 135 kilojoule of work is done by each kilogram of fluid. The specific volume, pressure and velocity at the inlet are 0.37 meter cube per kg, 600 kilopascal and 16 meter per second. It leaves the system at a specific volume of 0.62 meter cube per kg, pressure of 100 kilopascal, a velocity of 270 meter per second. The inlet is 32 meter above the floor and the discharge pipe is at floor level. The heat loss between the inlet and discharge is 9 kilojoule per kg of fluid. Determine the change in specific internal energy. Now at inlet we are having the pressure 600 kilopascal, VI, that is specific volume at inlet, is equal to 0.37 meter cube per kg. Velocity at inlet is 16 meter per second. Now at outlet we are having pressure of 100 kilopascal, specific volume of 0.62 meter cube per kg and velocity 270 meter per second. Heat loss is equal to 9 kilojoule per kg, that is why it is indicated with negative sign. Now work is 135 kilojoule per kg and the difference in height or elevation is 32 meter. So Zi minus Zd is equal to 32 meter. Now the steady flow energy equation has been written. Here the enthalpy term has been substituted with PV plus U. So instead of HI we have written PIVI plus UI, and instead of HE we have written PEVE plus UE. Now UE minus UI is equal to PIVI minus PEVE plus CI square minus CE square upon 2000 plus G into Zi minus Zd upon 1000 plus Q minus W. So UE minus UI comes out to be minus 20 kilojoule per kg. At inlet to a certain nozzle, the fluid parameters are specific enthalpy 2850 kilojoule per kg, velocity is equal to 50 meter per second, area 0.1 meter square, specific volume 0.18 meter cube per kg. At the discharge end, that is exit end, the specific enthalpy is 2650 kilojoule per kg and specific volume is 0.49 meter cube per kg. The nozzle is horizontal and there is negligible heat loss from it. Calculate the velocity of fluid at exit from the nozzle, the mass flow rate of the fluid and exit area of the nozzle. Now at inlet we are having velocity 50 meter per second, area 0.1 meter square, enthalpy 2850 kilojoule per kg and specific volume 0.18 meter cube per kg. At exit we don't know the value of velocity and area, we have to find out. Enthalpy at exit is 2650 kilojoule per kg and specific volume is 0.49 meter cube per kg. Now steady flow energy equation for nozzle is Hi plus Ci square upon 2000, that is equal to He plus C square upon 2000. So this gives me the value of C, that is velocity of flow at the exit of nozzle. That comes out to be 634.43 meter per second. Now with this we calculate the mass flow rate in terms of inlet parameters, that is equal to AICI upon VI, and that comes out to be 27.78 kg per second. Similarly, we can equate mass flow rate to AE into CE upon VE, and that gives me the value of exit area of the nozzle, and that comes out to be 0.02145 meter square. A steam turbine operates under steady flow condition, receiving steam at the following state: pressure 15 bar, specific internal energy 2700 kilojoule per kg, specific volume 0.17 meter cube per kg, velocity 100 meter per second. The exhaust of steam from the turbine is at 0.1 bar with a specific internal energy 2175 kilojoule per kg, specific volume 15 meter cube per kg, and velocity 300 meter per second. The intake is 3 meter above the exhaust. The turbine develops 35 kilowatt and the heat loss over the surface of turbine is 20 kilojoule per kg. Determine the steam flow rate through the turbine. So at inlet we are having the pressure 1500 kilopascal, UI is equal to 2700 kilojoule per kg, VI is equal to 2700 kilojoule per kg, CI is equal to 100 meter per second. At outlet we are having the value of PE 10 kilopascal, internal energy at exit 2175 kilojoule per kg, V is equal to 15 meter cube per kg, C is equal to 300 meter per second. Zi minus Ze, that is difference in elevation, will be 3 meter, and the work in kilojoule per kg can be obtained by dividing the work output in kilojoule per second by mass flow rate, that is in kg per second. So you get 35 upon m dot, which is in kilojoule per kg. As I have told you, in the steady flow energy equation you have to write each and every term in kilojoule per kg, and the heat transfer, which is basically loss, so that is 20 kilojoule per kg, and we have put negative sign as it is the heat loss. Now this is the steady flow energy equation written, and you have substituted the value of all given parameters, and only unknown was m dot, that is mass flow rate, and that comes out to be 0.0614. Now we have done 4 questions till now, and as I have told you that you have to identify whether it is the question of steady flow energy equation or not. So you must have seen the name of devices like turbine, nozzle appearing in the question, or either the term steady or steadily in the question. So that is basically indicating that it is the question of steady flow energy equation. A centrifugal air compressor delivers 15 kg of air per minute. The inlet and outlet conditions of air are CI 10 meter per second, PI 1 bar, VI 0.5 meter cube per kg, CE 80 meter per second, PE 7 bar, VE 0.15 meter cube per kg. The increase in enthalpy of air passing through the compressor is 160 kilojoule per kg, and heat loss to the surroundings is 720 kilojoule per minute. Assuming that inlet and outlet are at same level, find motor power required to drive the compressor and the ratio of inlet and outlet pipe diameters. Now the inlet and outlet parameters are being given in the question, and one more thing, the increase in enthalpy of air passing through the compressor is 160 kilojoule per kg. It means when the fluid is passing from inlet to outlet, its enthalpy increases 160 kilojoule per kg. It means enthalpy at exit minus enthalpy at inlet will be 160 kilojoule per kg. Now heat loss has been written in units of kilojoule per minute. So basically this heat loss, that is minus 720 kilojoule per minute, has to be divided by mass flow rate, that is 15 kg per minute, and we get the value of Q is equal to minus 48 kilojoule per kg. Change in potential energy is 0 as the inlet and exit are at same level. Now we write steady flow energy equation, and Finally, we get the value of W by putting all the given parameters, and the value of W is minus 211.15 kilojoule per kg. Now, as we have got the value of W, that is power input to the compressor. So now we want to convert it into kilojoule per second. So we multiply it with the mass flow rate, and we get the value minus 52.79 kilowatt. In this question also, you must have seen the word was written air compressor. So compressor indicates that it is the question of steady flow, and air indicates that the working substance used is air, so that you can use the various properties of air like Cp, Cv, gamma and R. Now mass flow rate, which is equal to AICIE upon VI, and is also equal to AE into CE upon VE, where CI and CE are the velocities at inlet and outlet, VI and VE are specific volume at inlet and outlet, and AI and AE are corresponding cross-sectional areas at inlet and outlet. So this gives me the expression for AI upon AE, and that comes out to be 26.667. Finally, as cross-sectional area is pi by 4 d square, so we have substituted the values of corresponding cross-sectional areas by pi by 4 d square. So di upon d is equal to 5.163. The mass rate of flow into a steam turbine is 1.5 kg per second, and the heat transfer from the turbine is 8.5 kilowatt. The following data are known for the steam entering and leaving the turbine. Determine the power output of the turbine. Now inlet conditions and outlet conditions are given. Pressure for inlet is 2 megapascal and that for outlet is 0.1 megapascal. Temperature for inlet is 350 degrees Celsius, whereas quality for outlet condition is 100%. Velocity at inlet is 50 meter per second and that for outlet condition is 200 meter per second. Elevation from reference plane for inlet is 6 meter, whereas for the outlet is 3 meter. So now this is clear that this question is pertaining to the steady state flow process, as the word turbine is mentioned, and the working substance is steam. So it means that we may have to see the steam table. We may have to look for the steam properties in steam table. Now at inlet, pressure and temperature are given, which indicates that the steam could be superheated. We look for the saturation temperature at 20 bar, and we find that the given temperature, that is 350 degrees Celsius, is higher than the saturation temperature at 20 bar. So it means the steam is superheated. Now we look for the enthalpy, and that is 3137 kilojoule per kg. Now velocity is given 50 meter per second and elevation from reference plane is 6 meter. At exit, we are having the pressure of 1 bar and dryness fraction is 1. It means steam is dry saturated. Its dryness fraction is 1. So from steam tables, we can look at 1 bar, the value of Hg will be the value of He here. Means the steam is completely saturated, dryness fraction, so enthalpy is going to be equal to Hg. So that will be the value of He, and that is 2675.5 kilojoule per kg. Velocity at outlet is 200 meter per second and elevation from reference plane is 3 meter. So this is the steady flow energy equation. Every term is in kilojoule per kg, as I have told you earlier. Mass flow rate is 1 kg per second. Heat loss given in kilojoule per second can be expressed in kilojoule per kg by dividing the value in kilojoule per second by mass flow rate, and that becomes minus 5.667 kilojoule per kg. Now putting all the values in steady flow energy equation written on the slide, we get the value of W. So now W is equal to 437.11 kilojoule per kg. And we want to convert it into kilowatt. So definitely we will multiply it with mass flow rate and it becomes 655.7 kilowatt. Steam at a pressure of 1.4 megapascal 300 degrees Celsius is flowing in a pipe. Connected to this pipe through a valve is an evacuated tank. The valve is opened and the tank fills with the steam until the pressure is 1.4 megapascal and then valve is closed. The process takes place adiabatically and the kinetic energies and potential energies are negligible. Determine the final temperature of the steam. So we are having a pipeline. In that pipeline, steam is flowing and the condition of steam is given. That pressure is 1.4 megapascal and the temperature is 300 degrees Celsius. Now, a tank, evacuated tank, means which was not containing anything earlier. So basically, it means M1 is 0. Okay. So this tank is connected to a pipe, to this pipe through a valve. Now the valve is open. So what will happen? Steam will flow into the tank. And up to what condition the steam should allow to be flow in this tank. So basically that is given until the pressure is 1.4 megapascal. Then valve is closed. And this process takes place adiabatically. So basically this question pertains to uniform state, uniform flow process. As I told you in the lecture that filling of certain vessel or discharging of substance from basically any tank or container, that comes in the category of uniform state or uniform flow process. Okay. Now the mass balance for this will be M2 minus M1 for the control volume plus ME minus MI is equal to 0. Summation sign becomes important only when there are multiple streams for outflow and inflow. But here only single streams are there for the inflow and there is no stream for the outflow. So ME is going to be 0. Moreover, the tank was evacuated. Basically, tank is here forming the system. Tank is the part of system. Basically, tank is the system. So it was evacuated initially. It means M1 is going to be 0. As the process is taking place adiabatically, so QCV is going to be 0. Moreover, this system is not going to yield any shaft work. So W is also going to be 0. And the changes in kinetic and potential energies are also negligible. Now energy balance equation as shown by equation number 2 has been written over here. Now this is the diagram. As I have explained you that steam is flowing through a pipeline and this pipeline is connected to a tank through a valve. And this valve is opened and steam is allowed to flow into the tank till the pressure in the tank is 1.4 megapascal. This tank is evacuated initially, means it was not containing anything, it was empty. Okay, and this process is adiabatic. That is why H lines have been shown. Now since M1 is 0 and M is 0, so the mass balance equation will give M2 is equal to Mi. Means whatever the mass of steam is there in the tank at the end of process is basically the mass that has inflowed or that has come through mass inflow into the tank, that has come through pipe when valve was opened. Okay. Now energy balance equation gives MIHI is equal to M2U2. All the rest of the terms have become 0. Few terms were given 0. QCV was 0, WCV was 0. Some terms became 0 because they were multiplied by the term 0, like the energy terms pertaining or associated with Mi became 0. The energy terms associated with Me, they also become 0. So ultimately we got these terms only. MiHi is equal to M2U2. And this term basically yields, because I have told you that M2 is equal to Mi. So this will yield me Hi is equal to U2. Now from steam tables, at 1.4 megapascal, that is 14 bar and 300 degrees Celsius, we get the value of Hi is equal to 3040.4 kilojoule per kg. So Hi is equal to 3040.4 kilojoule per kg. Now we assume that at the end of process, means the filling process, the condition of steam would be superheated. Now at 1.4 megapascal and 450 degrees Celsius, these are the condition. Specific volume is equal to 0.2351 meter cube per kg, and at 1.4 megapascal and 500 degrees Celsius, the specific volume is 0.2521 meter cube per kg. Now at 1.4 megapascal and 450 degrees Celsius, the value of enthalpy and internal energy are given. Similarly, for 1.4 megapascal and 500 degrees Celsius, the value of enthalpy and internal energy are given on the slide. Now by interpolation, we can determine the value of T2. By looking the data on the steam table, we can come to know, because Hi is equal to U2, so it indicates that U2 is equal to 3040.4 kilojoule per kg. Now look at these two values of U given on the slide. One is for 450 degrees Celsius and another is for the 500 degrees Celsius. For both, pressure is 1.4 megapascal. One value of U is 3036.4 and the another value of U is 3121.16 kilojoule per kg. So it is clear that this value of U2, which is 3040, should lie between these two values. Means it indicates that condition of steam is lying between 450 degrees Celsius and 500 degrees Celsius for the pressure 1.4 megapascal. So by interpolation, we can get the value of T2, and that comes out to be 452.4 degrees Celsius. A tank of volume 0.4 meter cube initially contains dry saturated steam at 350 kilopascal. The tank is connected to pipe through a valve. Steam at a pressure of 1.4 megapascal, 300 degrees Celsius is flowing in a pipe. The valve is opened and the tank fills with the steam until the pressure is 1.4 megapascal and then valve is closed. The process takes place adiabatically and kinetic energies and potential energies are negligible. Calculate the mass of steam that flows into the tank and final temperature of the steam. Now this is also the question of uniform state, uniform flow process, as basically it is the question of charging of a tank, means filling of a tank. Now in this case, basically tank is containing some steam initially, and its condition is given that pressure is 350 kilopascal and the condition of steam was that it is dry saturated steam, means having dryness fraction of 1. The steam that is flowing through a pipe is having the condition of 1.4 megapascal and 300 degrees Celsius temperature. As temperature is given along with the pressure, indication is that it must be superheated steam. And by looking into the steam tables, we can ensure that if the given temperature is higher than the saturation temperature at 1.4 megapascal, then steam is superheated. Now mass balance equation will give me M2 minus M1 plus Me minus Mi. Summation sign becomes important only when there are multiple streams for inflow as well as outflow. Here there is inflow of steam. There is no outflow, so M is going to be 0, and even for inflow there is single stream. So the question of summation sign does not arises. Now the energy balance equation shown by equation number 2 is given on the slide. Now, as no mass is leaving the system, that is tank, so M is going to be 0. Here also in this question, the tank becomes the system. Because the process takes place adiabatically, so QCV becomes 0. And there is no work delivered by this system. Means if you reduce this system to a pulley weight system, weight is not going to rise. It means there is no shaft work that is being done by the system. Changes in kinetic energy and potential energy terms are also neglected. Now we are having this diagram. Tank is connected with the pipeline. In the pipeline, the steam at 1.4 megapascal and 300 degrees Celsius is flowing, and this pipeline is connected to the tank through a valve. In the tank, we are having steam at 350 kilopascal, and dryness fraction is 1. Now the valve is opened and the steam is allowed to flow till the pressure in the tank becomes 1.4 megapascal. If it is not given that at up to what pressure steam is allowed to flow, so by the concept of mechanical equilibrium, it is clear that steam will flow into the tank till mechanical equilibrium is achieved, means till pressure equalizes. So it means pressure in the tank has to be up to 1.4 megapascal. That is clear. If anything other than this is not given in the question. Now the mass balance equation becomes M2 minus M1 is equal to Mi, as shown by the equation number 3. Now the energy balance equation or equation 2 gives MIHI is equal to M2U2 minus M1U1. Now substituting the value of Mi from equation 3 into equation 4, we get M2 minus M1 into Hi is equal to M2U2 minus M1U1. Now rearranging the terms and simplifying it, we get the equation number 5, which is M2 into Hi minus U2 is equal to M1 into Hi minus U1. Mass M1 can be determined by dividing the volume of the tank by the specific volume at state 1, that is initially. So 0.4 upon V1. M2 can be determined by dividing the volume of tank by the specific volume at state 2, means at the end of the process. So 0.4 upon V2. Now from steam tables we get the value of steam at 350 kilopascal and dryness fraction 1. V1 is equal to 0.524 meter cube per kg. So by this we can determine the value of M1, which comes out to be 0.7648 kg. Now the value of H1 as obtained from the steam tables is 2732.4 kilojoule per kg. From this we can determine the value of U1, that is equal to 2732.4 minus 350 into 0.524, and that is 2549 kilojoule per kg. Now at 1.4 megapascal and 300 degrees Celsius, the value of enthalpy is 3040.4 kilojoule per kg. So that becomes Hi, because steam that is flowing in the pipe is having the condition of 1.4 megapascal and 300 degrees Celsius. So Hi is equal to 3040.4 kilojoule per kg. Substituting the values in equation number 5, that is energy balance equation. So we get an expression that is having two variables. In the last of the slide we have shown FUV because it is function of U and V, so I have represented it by this function. So 0.4 upon V2 into 3040.4 minus U2 minus 375.11. So now we are having two variables and only one equation. because we are having two variables and one equation, the only alternative left is that we have to go for hit and trial method. So what we are having, we have tabulated some values for 300 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Celsius and 400 degrees Celsius, anticipating that our value is going to lie between these temperatures only. So we have written the specific volume for all these temperatures, specific enthalpy, specific internal energy for these things, and putting these values. For example, for 300 degrees Celsius, we put the value of V and U in this equation because we are having only two unknowns, U and V. So from this table, we will take the value 0.1823 and 2785.18 as the value of V and U respectively, and put them in the equation, in the expression which I have shown you on the last slide, and I get the value of FUV as 184.89. Now similarly, we are going to put the value of V and U for 350 degrees Celsius in the expression, and we get the value of FUV as minus 32.98. When the value becomes positive to negative or negative to positive, means when the value of function changes sign, it means root for that expression or equation is basically lying between those two arguments only, or those two parameters only, that is 300 and 350 degrees Celsius. There is no sign change from 350 to 400 degrees Celsius because the value of FUV is negative for 350 degrees Celsius as well as negative for 400 degrees Celsius. So the solution lies between 300 and 350 degrees Celsius because the value of FUV is changing its sign. Now from the linear interpolation at 14 bar and 340 degrees Celsius, we get these values. Means the value of FUV is 7.4. So we can say the temperature lies between 340 degree and 350 degrees Celsius because at 350 degrees Celsius the value of FU is negative, whereas for 340 degrees Celsius the value of FUV is positive. So it means root lies between 340 degrees Celsius and 350 degrees Celsius. So hereby we are converging for our solution. We are going close to solution. Now at 14 bar and 340 degrees Celsius, we again work out the same exercise and we get the value of FUV which comes very close to 0. So we come to inference that T2 is equal to 342 degrees Celsius is our answer, is our solution, for which we have obtained the solution of the equation 0 of the equation. Okay, so M2 is equal to 0.4 upon 0.19742, which is the value of V2 for 342 degrees Celsius. We get the value of mass M2 2.026. So the mass of steam that flows into the steam will be equal to Mi, and since Mi is equal to M2 minus M1, we get the value of Mi as 1.2612 kilogram. In a steady flow system, a substance flows at the rate of 300 kg per minute. It enters at a pressure of 6 bar, a velocity of 300 meter per second, specific energy 2000 kilojoule per kg, and a specific volume 0.4 meter cube per kg. It leaves the system at a pressure of 0.1 megapascal, a velocity of 150 meter per second, specific energy 1600 kilojoule per kg, and specific volume 1.2 meter cube per kg. The inlet is 10 meter above the outlet. During its passage through the system, a substance has a work transfer of 3 megawatt to the surroundings. Determine the heat transfer in kilojoule per second. Now the inlet parameters and outlet parameters have been written on the slide, taken from the question. The difference in height is 10 meter and the mass flow rate is 300 kg per minute. It can also be expressed in the terms of kg per second, and that is 5 kg per second. Now the work transfer has to be expressed in terms of kilojoule per kg, as the steady flow energy equation means the energy equation for the steady flow process says that every term should be in kilojoule per kg. Now the work transfer has been given 3 megawatt, that is 3000 kilowatt. So dividing it by mass flow rate, that is 5 kg per second, we get work transfer in kilojoule per kg, and the value is 600 kilojoule per kg. Now this is the steady flow energy equation written. Every term is in kilojoule per kg. The only unknown parameter is that of Q, heat transfer. Now we obtain the value of Q is equal to 46.15 kilojoule per kg, and we convert it into units of kilojoule per second by multiplying it with the mass flow rate, and heat transfer rate comes out to be 230.76 kilowatt. Air flows steadily at the rate of 0.4 kg per second through an air compressor entering at 6 meter per second with a pressure of 1 bar, specific volume 0.85 meter cube per kg, and leaving at 4.5 meter per second pressure of 7 bar and specific volume 0.16 meter cube per kg. The internal energy of the air leaving is 90 greater than that of air entering. So this is quite obvious that it is 90 kilojoule per kg. Cooling water in a jacket surrounding the cylinder absorbs heat from the air at the rate of 60 kilojoule per second. Calculate the following: power required to drive the compressor, inlet and outlet pipe cross-sectional area. Now we have written inlet and outlet parameters from the question. Important is UE minus UI is equal to 90 kilojoule per kg. Because it is leaving, it is written that internal energy of the air leaving is 90 kilojoule per kg greater than that of air entering. So UE minus UI is equal to 90 kilojoule per kg. Now heat transfer rate is given as 60 kilojoule per second. And the important thing is that it is written cooling water in the jacket surrounding the cylinder absorbs heat. Now cooling water is absorbing, but the air, which is the working substance, that is rejecting the heat. So the sign of heat and work are taken in relation with the working substance. If the working substance, that is air, which is flowing in the device, if that is absorbing heat, the sign has to be taken positive. If it is rejecting heat, then it has to be taken negative. So basically air is rejecting heat and cooling water in the jacket is absorbing heat. So sign has to be taken with respect to working substance, that is air, so it will be taken as negative. Similar thing applies for the work also. The sign for work is taken with respect to working substance of the system. Neglecting the changes in potential energy, steady flow energy equation reduces to the expression shown on the last of the slide. Now we put all the values in the steady flow energy equation and we get the value of work as minus 267 kilojoule per kg, and we obtain the work transfer in kilojoule per second by multiplying it with the mass flow rate, and we get minus 106.8 kilowatt. The negative sign indicates that it is basically the work input, or you can say power input, means work is done on the system. An insulated tank of volume 1 meter cube contains dry saturated steam at 0.2 megapascal. The tank is connected to the line carrying steam at 350 degrees Celsius and 3 megapascal and is filled with steam till the pressure reaches 3 megapascal. Calculate the mass of steam in the tank at the end of filling operation and its temperature. Now this question pertains to uniform state, uniform flow process. and the pipeline is connected to the tank. In the pipeline, the steam is flowing at 3 megapascal and 350 degrees Celsius, and it flows into the tank, which is having volume of 1 meter cube. And here the steam initially lying is having the pressure of 0.2 megapascal and dryness fraction 1. The steam is superheated in the pipeline. Now mass balance equation gives M2 minus M1 plus Me minus Mi is equal to 0. Since there is only one inflow stream, so definitely M is equal to 0, and there is no importance of summation sign. Then energy balance equation has been written as shown on the slide by equation number 2. Now M is equal to 0, as I've told you. Heat transfer will also be 0, as the tank is insulated. There is no work delivered by the system. Changes in kinetic and potential energy are also neglected. Now equation 1, that is mass balance equation, is reduced to equation number 3, that is M2 minus M1 is equal to Mi. Energy balance equation, that is equation number 2, gives us Mi Hi is equal to M2 U2 minus M1 U1. Substituting the value of Mi in equation number 4, we get the equation shown by equation number 5. Now from steam tables at 0.2 megapascal, that is 2 bar, and dryness fraction equals to 1, we put the values of V1, that is 0.886, H1, that is 2706.7 kilojoule per kg, and we get the value of U1 is equal to 2529.5 kilojoule per kg. At 3 megapascal, that is 30 bar and 350 degrees Celsius, Hi is equal to 3115.3 kilojoule per kg. Now M1 is basically the mass of steam in the tank at the starting of the process. So that is obtained by dividing the volume of tank by specific volume at state 1. So that gives me the value 1.1286 kg. M2 is obtained by dividing the volume of tank, that is 1 meter cube, by specific volume at state 2, that is V2. Now substituting these values in equation number 5, we get an expression in which we are having two variables. So we write that expression and name it as FUV, as U and V are the variables. Now we have written V and U specifically, though we have written also H, but the only useful things will be V and U. So V and U for 350 degrees Celsius, 400 degrees Celsius, and so on. For several temperatures we have written up to 500 degrees Celsius. Now we observe that the change of sign for this expression FUV takes place between 450 degrees Celsius and 500 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it is clear that the solution lies between 450 degrees Celsius and 500 degrees Celsius. Now the truncated part or the cutoff part of the table is having the values at 460 degrees Celsius, 462 degrees Celsius, and 463 degrees Celsius. So here we observe that the change of sign is taking place between 462 degrees Celsius and 463 degrees Celsius. So basically earlier we came to conclusion that solution lies between 450 degrees Celsius and 500 degrees Celsius. Then we converge it more and we came to conclusion, we came more close to the solution, and we came to know that solution basically lies between 462 degrees Celsius and 463 degree Celsius. So we can say final temperature is equal to T2 equals to 463 degrees Celsius. Though the value lies between 462 degrees Celsius and 463 degrees Celsius, but it's very close to 463 degrees Celsius even. So we have assumed this to be answer, and we calculate the values like mass of steam in the vessel at the end of the process, that is M2, which is equal to V upon V2, and that comes out to be 9.084 kg. Now mass of steam which enters the tank during the process, Mi is equal to M2 minus M1, and that comes out to be 7.9554 kilogram. An insulated tank of volume 1 meter cube contains dry saturated steam at 1 megapascal. A valve at the top of the tank is opened and only dry vapor is withdrawn till the pressure is reduced to 0.8 megapascal. Calculate the amount of steam withdrawn from the tank. So this is basically the example of emptying a tank, evacuating a tank. And this is also the example of uniform state, uniform flow process. So now mass balance equation, M2 minus M1 plus Me minus Mi is equal to 0. Now there is no inflow of mass, so Mi is going to be 0. The mass is only withdrawn, and that too is the single stream, means at only one point we are withdrawing this steam. So basically there will be no summation sign involved. Now energy balance equation has been written on the slide. Mi is equal to 0, heat transfer is equal to 0 as the tank is insulated. There is no work delivered by the system, so W is equal to 0. The changes in kinetic and potential energy terms are neglected. Now equation 1 gives Me is equal to M1 minus M2, that is equation number 3. Now energy balance equation gives Me He plus M2U2 minus M1U1. Now substituting the value of Me from equation number 3 in equation number 4, we get equation number 5. Now from steam tables at 1 megapascal, that is 10 bar and dryness fraction 1, we get the values of V1, H1 and U1. So we calculate the value of M1, which is obtained by dividing the volume of the tank by specific volume at state 1, and that comes out to be 5.144 kg. Similarly, M2 can be obtained by dividing the volume of tank by the specific volume at state 2, so that becomes 1 upon V2. Now at 0.8 megapascal, value of Vf, Vg, Hf, Hfg, Hg have been written on the slide, which have been taken from the steam tables. We know that dry saturated steam at 1 megapascal exists in tank, and when some mass of dry vapor has left, pressure is reduced to 0.8 megapascal. Therefore, the enthalpy of leaving or withdrawn steam is average of the two. Means He can be obtained by averaging the two enthalpies, that is enthalpy of dry saturated steam at 10 bar, which is 2778.1, and enthalpy of dry saturated steam at 8 bar, 2769.1 kilojoule per kg. Because when we started the withdrawing process, evacuation process, the pressure in the tank was 1 megapascal, that is 10 bar, and when it has been evacuated completely, not completely, slightly, then the pressure is 8 bar. So it is the enthalpy is 2769.1 kilojoule per kg. So we average them and we get the value of He as 2773.6 kilojoule per kg. Now we substitute all the values in energy equation and we get this expression as shown on the last of the slide. Now the expression FUV has been obtained and shown on the slide. Now we will assume different value of M2 to find the answer by hit and trial. Step 1, assume a suitable value of M2. Now V2 is equal to 1 upon M2. Now we find the value of X2, which is obtained by V2 upon Vg2, as V2 is approximately equal to X2 Vg2. Now if X2 is greater than 1, definitely assumption for M2 is wrong. We have to assume new values because X2 greater than 1 is not defined. Now step 4, H2 is equal to HF2 plus X2 HFG2, where HF2 and HFG2 are enthalpies of saturated liquid and saturated vapor at 8 bar. Step 5, U2 is equal to S2 minus P2V2, where P2 is equal to 800 kilopascal. Now we tabulate the values of various parameters M2, V2, X2, H2, U2 and the final function FUV. Now we have assumed some of the values, whereas other values have been calculated or obtained from the steam table, and we get the most approximate answer of M2 as 4.237 kg, because there is change of sign from 4.23 to 4.24 when the mass M2 is changing from 4.23 to 4.24. Then there is change of sign. So basically it indicates that our solution lies between the value of mass 4.23 to 4.24 kg, and we obtained the answer as 4.237. So the mass of steam withdrawn from the tank is M1 minus M2, and that is 0.907 kg. So with this, we finish the problem solving for basically steady state, steady flow processes and uniform state, uniform flow process. Thank you.